the nuggets that you're going to get today. And I'm excited to have with us Coach Genevieve Queenum, a Maxwell certified DISC coach. John Maxwell. I mean, if you haven't heard of John Maxwell, then tonight is your night, because he's definitely made a mark in this generation. And she is a certified coach. This is the Eve Speaks platform. Here we believe in healing, aspiring, and growing. It is our mantra. It is a cornerstone of this platform. It was founded by myself in 2016 when I tried to give a speech in front of a crowd of business owners, and I didn't just flop, I fainted. And I decided that I was going to be committed to personal development and continuous growth in the area of public speaking, because anxiety had hijacked me on that day. So this is my effort to encourage you to join me on the journey of personal development and perpetual growth. And not just to become the next best version of yourself, but to become a superior version of you. Doesn't that sound better?
An
Doesn't that sound
exceptional
good,
person.
Genevieve? Not just the next best version, a superior version. Hallelujah.
It sounds very good. Yeah. I
Oh my
think that,
gosh. I did have coffee twice today. That could be the reason for this behavior.
yeah, and Angela's story today is also an invitation to turn your mess into a message.
Mm.
Yeah, and like just like you said it in your video, Angela, you were talking about, people who always, you know, try to find exception instead of trying to be exceptional. Remember, I love this video you share on your
Oh,
social media.
yes.
Yes, on
Yes,
that quote,
yes.
yeah, of John Maxwell. So instead of, looking for exception, you decided to become exceptional. And this is how Ivy Speak,
I'm
was
trying. I'm
created.
trying.
Yeah, it's exactly that. So, yeah, we can maybe start with the first slide. What do you think, Angela?
We can certainly do that, but let me just invite people again to definitely participate. You can join us on the panel here. We can admit you on as a panelist as well. But yes, let's kick it off. And we love Jim. It's not John Ron, by the way. It's Jim Ron. Pardon
It's Jim
the
Rohn.
misquote here. Jim Ron. Jim Ron says, if you don't design, well, before I do that, let me go to the first. Please pardon me. Let me start up here. You see that symphony right there? This conversation is about the symphony of personalities. And when I think about a symphony, I think of unity, harmony. I
Exactly.
think of congruence. Is that what you think about too, Genevieve? Tell us what you think about, Genevieve. When you think of
Yeah,
a symphony
exactly.
of personalities.
Yeah, when just like you said, a few minutes ago, when I heard about symphony, I think about a superior, you know, uh, concordance of sounds that give,
Mm,
and superior harmony actually, because symphony is not, a very common word because it represents the very high quality of music, of sound in
mm.
music. And yes, this is exactly uh, what I hear. And I like the picture because, yes, we have this maestro with all the musicians, each one of them playing his own instrument.
And each person recognizes their contribution to the team to
Mm-hmm.
bring about the symphony.
Yeah.
They recognize the value that they bring to the table. This person over here playing, what is this? Some of these instruments, I don't even know what they are. The person playing the piano is not worried about being the person blowing the horn or whatever that is.
Mm-hmm.
Or
So,
each person
yeah,
recognizes that what they bring to the table is a
exactly.
valuable contribution to the beauty
Yeah.
of the orchestra. And
Everyone plays, yeah.
that's really beautiful. That's great. That's really awesome, because that's how the universe works, like a symphony.
Exactly.
right?
Yep.
The sun is
Exactly.
not worrying about the star, and the star is not worrying about the clouds. I mean, everybody, each of these things have their own glory. And I think as human beings, and as we are on this growth journey, that's how we have to think. That's the mindset, the thinking
Mm-hmm.
for change
Mm-hmm.
that we need to adopt
Mm-hmm.
so that we can be like these people in a symphony. So yeah, that's the whole point of this conversation today. And why is it focused personalities? Because our personalities, regardless if it's in a family, if it's in a job situation, if it's
Mm-hmm.
with my spouse,
Yep.
we're in
In
church,
church. Yep.
friendship, relationship, all the ships, whatever ship you find yourself in,
Yeah.
you need to make sure that the ship is sailing smoothly if we are have
Mm-hmm.
the awareness and we sustain the intelligence to navigate effectively. That's
Mm-hmm.
the word, effectively,
Exactly.
these personalities, so that they
Personal.
can indeed be like symphony.
A
I wish we
symphony.
had some music that would just go along with this
That
conversation.
was, yeah, that could go with it.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
would just right now the music should just come on and we just be like, you know, in sync.
I
So
I
let's go to the next
discover
slide.
I discover something that I would never think about music. About how sounds plays in our well-being, because I love music, and I just discovered that each note of music were related to one of our amino acids in our body.
Mm,
And actually, the sound we use to listen need to have all those partition or sounds, so that it can give a good vibes to our bodies and our amino acids and help them work better in our body. I just learned it yesterday.
that each say that one more time. I didn't hear that well.
So it said each amino acid in our
Each
body,
amino acid,
yeah, are correlated to a music note.
each amino acid is related to a music note. Where'd you learn this?
Music notes, so when those music notes are well, organized, like in a symphony, some
Uh-huh.
music actually help us, live in a better health, have better health. And the guys who is presenting the video said actually only one symphony, that's the name of this symphony is uh Parchebel.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the only symphony that contain in the good, uh, uh, if I can say it, organization, the note of music that our body receive positively to make our amino acid works very well. It's crazy, but I learned it yesterday.
This is like,
Yeah,
wow.
I go and make some research on it, and I was like, the universe is connected, actually. The sounds, the air, the body of the human, everything. God is amazing, but nobody knows it, actually. And when
God
you
by himself. God by himself is a symphony. I mean, all by himself.
oh yeah, yeah, this is so
He's the
true.
whole orchestra.
Exactly.
I want to
Exactly.
welcome, by the way, I want to welcome Jennifer Boyd. I want to welcome Mary Beth and Patricia Ogunlier. Thank you for joining us. And we would love for you to not just listen to the conversation, guys. We'd like you to be a part of the conversation, to make it, like a real symphony here tonight with your
Yeah.
questions, your comments, your insights, your nuggets. See, I just learned that amino acids, each amino acid is like a music note. Oh man,
Yeah.
that right there. That's out of this world.
Yeah.
So I recently learned also that music originated in heaven. Have you
Yeah.
ever heard this?
Yeah. I ever heard this. Yeah.
And that when you're praying and you're worshiping, if you set a certain music, it opens up your spirit
Yeah.
to just really to receive. I was just like,
Yeah.
wow. No, it makes sense why David was like all big on this, the
Yeah.
music and the
Always.
poetry and all the stuff that he did. Because he
Yeah.
was just like so in tuned, it seems like.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's a story in the book of Kings where
Uh-huh.
the kings of Judah called Elisha to prophesy, but he was mad after the king of Jerusalem, of no, after the king of Israel. And because the king of Judah was involved and asking him to prophesy, he was mad and he said, because of the king of Judah, I will prophesy. But as he was not, you know, in the good disposition of heart, he said, bring to me a musician. And the Bible says that when the musician start playing his instrument, the
Mm-hmm.
Spirit of God come on the prophet and he start prophesying.
Wow.
It's in the book of Kings. So I'm a music lover and I make a lot of research about music in the Bible because you know that some other religion say that music is satanic and they don't allow music in their praise. But I discovered, just like you say, that music was originated with the creation in the air. So
That's
that's why
amazing.
I love, yes, this the topic of our webinar today because really our personality has to work together just like symphony. And I think that God has ordered it like that actually.
Mm-hmm.
He made us different because we need to work together in symphony to
Right.
see actually, yes, the beauty of his work, of his calling on
Mm-hmm.
earth. Yeah.
He's
And
beckoning to us to make music together by being unified, work together. And I mean, and it makes sense because, anything to be fruitful and to be super productive requires people working together, a husband and
mm,
wife. I mean, there's no baby unless they come together in
mm,
symphony,
exactly.
unity, and create that orchestra. And then
Yep.
9 months later, you see this beautiful baby, bundle of joy. I mean, it just all makes sense.
Yep. And you know what is the opposite of symphony?
What is it? Chaos?
Cacophony.
What
It's
is it?
cacophony. Yeah, it came from chaos. It's cacophony.
What is it? Cacophony?
Cacophony.
I can't even say that
Cacophony.
word.
Yeah. Well,
It sounds like
it's the
confusion, though. Hmm.
exactly. It came from chaos. It's the same word in French too. It's cacophony. Cacophony is the opposite of symphony. Symphony is when the sounds are um, put together and give a nice harmony. And cacophony is when everybody is doing their own things, just
Absolute
like
confusion. Hmm.
just like in pre-K, you know, when you go in pre-K. Yeah,
Actually, it sounds like the world we live in right now. A lot of chaos.
exactly. Because everybody wants to play their own instrument, their own partition without, you know, uh, without acknowledging their neighbors, their brother and sisters. Everybody wants to
Mm.
show up. Everybody wants to be, you know, just like we see it in this in the first picture. Imagine those people if anybody were playing their own instrument without, acknowledging the other one. They all have somewhere where they start, and they have, even when they play, to acknowledge the sound coming from the instrument of the other musician, you know.
Right.
So they rehearse this, maybe this symphony for months. So this webinar is a kind of rehearsal where we will learn how to play together, each one with our own talent, and to create the good harmony, the symphony we need in our, all in our ships, just like you said, in families, in with friends, in the, corporate, and in our companies, in church, and even with ourselves. Because
Mm.
the first person we are in relationship with is ourselves.
Right.
And it is based on the law of awareness,
The
right?
law of awareness.
Yeah,
So I think we have set a good foundation for how important it is to synchronize, to have this
exactly.
symphony in
Yeah.
whatever ship we find ourselves in. And the question is not whether or not you're going to be in a ship. You will be in a ship. Is how much
Always.
peace and quiet and congruence is on the ship that you're in.
Yep.
And so I love this quote by Jim Rohn. He says, if we don't design our own life plan, chances are you'll fall into somebody else's plan. And guess what they have planned for you? Not much. I love this. And the reason why this is relevant to this conversation is because a lot of times when it comes on to personalities, I mean, I've had situations where I remember when I was in college and I just met my now husband. Some of the girls would just not like me, and they would tell him, and he'd be like, "Do you know her? Have you met her? She's a really nice person." They just didn't like me for whatever reason, and I think part of it is that they assume something about me without really getting to know me. Maybe based on the way I spoke in class, I don't know, whatever the reasons were. But when you lack the awareness of how to navigate personalities, you can hijack your relationships, hijack your destiny, hijack your output, your profitability. You hijack your life. And Jim Rohn is saying to us, be very cognizant, be deliberate and intentional about designing your life plan. And part of that is knowing your own personality and the personality of the people you find yourself around, or the people in the ship that you're with.
Exactly.
Because some people you can avoid, but other people you can't. They're your husband, they're your wives, they're your children, your teachers, your boss. I mean, you can only run so far, right? We have a thing, in this society about energy, right? Got to match the energy. And some of us decide to avoid certain people. But the truth is, unless we are deliberate about growth and personal development, we'll be running for the rest of our lives. So I'm glad this conversation lends itself to growth and development that's intentional, so that we don't end up in somebody else's life plan because we didn't decide to learn how to navigate personalities and know how they work together.
Exactly. I like the actually the idea of this in this quote that's called us to be a chooser, that to choose our own future, like the life we really want to live, and to be the designer, not just an actor, but actually to be the contributor or the creator of the life we want. I like the idea in this quote that we have this power to design our own life. And actually designing your own life, just like you say, will involve you to make wise choices, wise decision. And you cannot decide if you don't know yourself, and if you don't, have if you can't see the big picture behind just this prejudice, like just see someone who is calm. And I have this same experience with one of my best friend, actually, when we were also in middle school, because
Really?
because I am a C personality, so I have been like this. So when I come in a new environment, my first reflect is to analyze the environment. This is my way of behaving. And this was not her style, because she is a very high I. Okay. And she's someone who comes and, without saying anything, she just started having conversation with anyone. And I was very calm, like observing everyone. And that is, my way to feel comfortable and to know how to connect. Because actually, this is the point. All the things that we will see today is to teach us how to connect.
That's the key, to
That's
connect.
exactly how to connect. Because imagine that you design your own life plan, but you cannot connect with what even the Bible called the destiny helper.
Mm.
You need to connect because yes, you need to be with people. We are in a relationship in wherever we go, in whatever we are doing. Even when we think that we don't need someone in this practical things or area in our life, we are there alone. When we are alone in our bed, we are in relationship with ourselves. So some people cannot connect with themselves. Can you believe that?
Wow, that's serious when you can't connect with yourself.
Yeah, some I think that some people cannot connect with themselves. Why? Because they have a potential that they never tap in,
Mm.
because they have never take the soul. They they just like you say, they work in others people plan because they never
Mm.
take the time to connect with themselves, to uh to understand their behavior, their choice. They live in guilt, they live in uh, lack of self-confidence and all this stuff because they never take the time to delve in themselves and discover the treasure that God has sown in them.
So
So
true.
yes.
I know for myself with this whole idea of if you don't design your own life plan, chances are you'll fall into someone else's plan. I remember when I was working in I worked in IT for 15 years before I started my own business. And for the longest time I was, just going from one company to the next. And but I had within me the potential to be a business owner, but I didn't recognize it. I was not in good relationship with myself and my abilities. I couldn't
Mhm.
discern it. Um, and it took someone else, my now husband, who said, Angela, you can do this. You don't need to work for these people. You can do this on your
Mm.
own. And I was like, no. For
You
2 weeks,
see?
like 2 years, for more than 2 years, I was
Mm.
just like, no, I don't think so. I'm not really technical. No,
Mm.
I was intimidated by the whole idea of having an IT company because I was operating in somebody else's plan who didn't really value me. It wasn't even so much that I was an employee, it's that he just didn't value me. And
Mhm.
I didn't have the awareness to say, wait a minute, I actually do have the ability to run my own business.
Mm.
And so I was operating his plan for the longest time, getting like peanuts
Mm.
when I could have been all that those that I left so much money on the table, so much profits went to his business and his cars and his mansions. Meanwhile, I was struggling to make ends meet. It's
Yep.
crazy. So
Yep.
and my relationship with my boss at the time was just that he saw me as the golden goose,
Mhm. Mhm.
bringing a lot of golden eggs into his operation. But me, because I hadn't designed my own life plan, because I hadn't learned to navigate the relationship with myself,
Exactly.
I settled for that. So
Mm.
it's such a critical conversation to have. Remember, guys, Jennifer, Maribeth, Patricia, you can definitely chime in if you choose to. But yeah, this is definitely a worthy conversation.
Yeah.
I want
And
to.
this is exactly what the Maxwell Leadership DISC assessment
Mhm.
brings on the table. It builds really self-confidence. Why? Because when some people guess their potential.
Mhm.
They say, I may be able, maybe I'm like that. Some other people are even working against their potential. Why? Because they are in someone else's plans. They listen to what others tell them. Like
Right.
you may be a very, we'll see the definition, a very relational people. And some other people would tell you, oh, you should not, you should be, more reserved because this is not. While actually, this is your strength, this is your power. And so some people, live with this guilt like, oh, I would like to be more, reserved, but I'm kind of very, I'm a talkative person. No, you're not talkative. You are a relational people. You are an I personality,
Mhm.
and it is your strength. But now the thing is that this assessment will help you discover how you can use this strength.
Mm.
you
And
know,
that's key. Discover
that
how you can use the
you
strength in the personality trait that God endowed you with.
exactly,
Because this was God's
exactly,
design. We're talking about the law of design. God's design is that we would
exactly.
all have our unique personality. And isn't he the ultimate designer? I mean, look what he's done. I mean, it's
Mm,
like
mm, mm,
over the top amazing. Like amazing doesn't even capture what he's done. He's done,
exactly.
right?
Yeah.
It's like the word is too puny to this
Mm,
to describe what he has done. Yeah.
yep.
So let's play it. If we're gonna fall into somebody else's plan, let it be God's plan, his design.
Yeah, exactly. Let's work on this
I
plan.
love it. I love this quote as well. It says, "No one can whistle a symphony. It takes an orchestra to play it." I think this is your quote, Genevieve, by
Mm,
H.E. Luckock. What
hmm.
is he talking about?
And you know what? He was a bishop.
Mm,
Yeah, Lukaku was a bishop. And I think that it is just what we just said, God has created us, each one of us, with our individual personality trait for a purpose. And
mhm,
God never intend to have us all the same model. No,
right.
you know. Someone teach me, my pastor said that uh, when the people was in Babylon, they was working against God's plan. So God put the confusion in their language so that they will no longer be able to connect.
Mm,
At the Pentecost, they were waiting for God gift, for God direction. As their heart was turned to God, there God turned the harmony in their diversity. That's mean
wow.
that God has created this diversity of personality for a purpose.
Mm,
He
yes.
is, he is the foundation of our purpose and that's why he wants us to be together for his purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So he needs you as a DES personality. He needs me as a CID. He needs, Jay. He needs Mary Beth. He needs Patricia, Jennifer, with their own personality because each one of us we need to work together so that he may release, his
Because each
glory.
of us is like an instrument, literally.
Exactly. We all have our own vibration, our own sounds. No,
Hallelujah. I
yeah,
love it.
exactly. We
We are
need to,
literally an instrument. Now you've
yeah,
been saying these letters, and people are probably wondering, I, C, S, what is she talking about? Let's dig into that a little bit more. The
exactly
technicalities of what it means by the different types of
of
personalities,
of
what they
personality.
represent, these letters.
Exactly.
So the
So
D is the dominant. Let's start
it's a
there.
dominant.
Over here, the top left, dominant.
Yeah, exact. And
And
we
then they
have
got the I, which is the influencing.
the influencing.
And then they have down here S, which is a steady.
Exactly.
And the C is the compliant. And what we're going to do now is try to define each of these. Coach Genevieve is going to be defining them. And then we're going to try to think about what kind of personality, which one we think we fit in. And you may not fit perfectly into like a little box because more than likely
Mhm.
you're a mixture of a couple of different
Of
ones.
of the
But we're
of
going to look at the ones that
our
dominate, right? Okay, so
exactly.
take us through it, Coach.
So I'll try to be a good pedagogue. So DISC is a personality assessment method because it has started very long ago, like Hippocrates, Empedocles, Carl Jung, and William Matson was really the founder of those studies. So just to say that Hippocrates and Empedocles were, scientists of the time that I could even imagine. Just to say how long people have been studying human behavior. And they came to this conclusion that there are four major personality types. And
Hmm.
those four major personality types are the dominant, the influencing, the steady, and the compliant. So DISC is the acronym of these four personalities. So now
Mm.
each type of personality has their own characteristic. And as just you see it, the other image, discovering other person communication style, like their personality, is the best, not only the great way, but the best way to build strong partnership and relationship in teams and families and community. So now maybe we can describe the four type of personality, and maybe you will recognize yourself in some trait. Just like Angela said, we are all a blend of these four traits, but with different intensities, so that nobody can be just a dominant or an influencing or a steady or compliant. We're all a blend of these four traits, but with different intensity, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
Discovering another person's communication style is a great way to build strong partnerships and teams. I wonder how many relationships could have been saved,
Mm,
how many parents would, feel more endeared to their children and vice versa.
mm,
How many corporations could have succeeded or not failed if
mm,
only we mastered how to
mm,
navigate personalities.
mm,
I wonder. There's a scripture that says how beautiful, how good, and how pleasant it is for
mm-hmm.
brethren to dwell together in unity.
Yeah. Psalm 1 and 133.
Psalm 133.
Yeah.
Look at that. Yes,
Yep.
yes.
And it and
That
it
sounds
and
like a
it
symphony right there.
yeah, and it say this is where the blessing of the Lord are poured out. Yeah.
Mm. And
When
is
we
that the same scripture that talks about it's like oil dripping down on Aaron's beard? Is that the same one?
exactly, yeah,
Oh,
it says the same
you know
one.
how beautiful that is. Oh, we probably should just go to that scripture. Such a beautiful.
Yeah,
But we're gonna go on and
it's a
now go
beautiful
find it.
it's a beautiful one. So
Yes. So
yes.
we're gonna dig into that further. The D, strengths, motivations, and weaknesses for the D and C. So as you're listening, consider which ones you may identify with. Go
Yeah.
ahead, coach.
So yeah, we'll start with the four, the two personality D and C. Maybe we can come back from on the first slide to explain why do we take D and C.
This
And
one?
yeah, so as we see, the D is outgoing and task oriented, like on the top and on the left side, and the C are the reserved person but task oriented. So we have the influencing people who are outgoing and people oriented, and the steady person who are reserved but people oriented. So now we'll take the task oriented personality that are the D and the C.
Task
So
oriented. Okay.
the
They
task
like to do
oriented,
things. They like to get things done.
exactly. That those people who are really only driven by what is done. So one of the personality, the D, are task oriented, but they are outgoing. But the C are task oriented, but more reserved.
Okay. So if I'm a D, I'm task oriented, but I'm outgoing and oh my life is great, blah, blah,
Exactly,
blah, blah, blah. And then you get the C person, they also get the job done, but gosh, they're so reserved, they just turn you off.
exactly.
So instead of trying to figure out, what would make this person be the ideal worker, teammate,
Mhm.
whatever, I dismiss them or treat them as we other them
Mm,
because they don't have the same personality as you.
exactly, exactly.
Mm.
And each personality, as we just said it, is a must in any team. If you want to have a good team, you better have the four type of personality in that team, and each one of them has their strength, their motivation. They have their growth area. We can call it weakness, but I'd like to call it growth area. because
Growth areas, growth
yeah,
opportunities. Each personality
exactly.
has a growth opportunity embedded
Yeah,
in it.
exactly. So we'll say the task-oriented personalities, the D and the C, who are the people who are in this two category. The next slide, we'll talk
Mm,
about the D personality. So the D style people are people who are courageous, very quick responses. They are goal oriented. We can go on the next slide, please, Angela.
okay.
Yeah. So the D and the C. So we'll take the D on the left side. So they are confident people, very driven. Remember that they are outgoing people. They are decisive and action taker. So
Okay.
they are so decisive that sometimes you can see them like maybe a little bit rude because you'll say,
Mm,
"Oh, why do they you know they are not shy. They
that
are
sounds
out,
like a little bit like me, just a little bit.
they are they are outgoing people, right? So that they are decisive, very self-confident. You know, they are straightforward and competitive. They are not afraid to defy you, for example, right? Those are the D personality.
But then,
So
are there different levels of D though? Because I'm not exact. I have traits of that, but I am not competitive like that.
yeah, you have a trait of D, maybe not that high at this point, but yes,
Okay.
I yeah,
I'm not a
but
bulldozer, but I am definitely driven and decisive, and I'm an action taker.
an action taker. Yeah. So, with the intensity, you can see some people,
Okay, so they can
having
be
the
okay. There are levels
exactly.
of D. Okay.
Yeah. So, for example, the deep person are motivated by, let's say that you have to do something. The motto of the deep person would be just do it. They are not afraid of doing it. They are not afraid to start something new. They are not afraid to try something new. They are bold. They are decision taker and very self-reliant. Those are so they are motivated by like an risk.
Mm.
They are motivated by risk, challenge, and control,
This
right?
reminds me of Donald Trump a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You see, so when they're in settings where there is no challenge, when they cannot take control on the things and lead people, they kind of
They lose interest.
yeah, exactly. They lose interest. So the
Mm.
weakness is that those kind of people most of the time are workaholic, very impatient, and they can be sometimes a little bit dictatorial when the trait is very high, you know,
Mm. It can be a
and
turn
they
off. It sounds like.
exactly they are
Now,
offensive.
if I'm gonna, if you're shopping for a spouse and they have these traits, it
Mm-hmm.
can look very attractive,
Yeah,
confident and driven, decisive,
yeah.
action take. I mean, sounds like the kind of guy you want, right? Motivated by challenge and control, and then you marry him.
Yeah, but no,
And he brings this mess into the relationship. You're like, wait a minute.
exactly. Because when they are out of control, they are reckless people, sometimes dictatorial and even offensive, because they're like, why, why don't you do that right now? No, you just have to do it. Why do you wait? You know why sometimes maybe if you are S person or a very I person, you need to, take in
Mm,
account many other things. But these are the D. And in all the four personality, you will find good things and things to develop. But we need all this personality in different situations. Imagine a company without a D personality. Imagine a church, a community without a D personality.
That's it.
All
You got
right,
a problem.
exactly. So one of their strengths is that they are, not only action taker, but they are people who are not afraid to make decision.
Mm.
How many of us need sometimes to be with people who can make a decision, who just say, you know what, let's do it.
Me, sometimes I just don't want to make the decision. I don't
you
want to
know
be the one to be leading nothing.
exactly. So this is their motivation. When you are with this person, there are those who say, let's just do it. If you want
Mm.
to motivate them, be the person who said, let's do it. I'll do it with you. While the C person are also task oriented, but they are more reserved. So they are very analytic people, organized and creative. They are very logical people, and they can be curious, like because they need to have uh, all the information
Those
before
people drive me crazy sometimes.
yeah, before they make their decision. All right. But someone said you better have a high C personality in the hospitals and in the cart, because there are people who don't
In the
make,
courts.
yeah,
Okay.
because they are very,
Nurses need to have that, right? Because
yeah,
all the details.
exactly, they need the details.
I think Jennifer was a nurse or is a nurse.
Oh, yeah.
Would you agree
So,
with that, Jennifer? I don't know if
yeah,
she's still
someone said you'd better pray that your doctor, or your nurse, or maybe your attorney be a C person, because there are people who works with details. They are
there.
very organized, and yeah, they are correct and very cautious. They're questioning, so they ask all the questions. They make research. This is true. Whatever I say before I said it, I will make, maybe hundreds of research just to deliver one message,
Oh
because
my
I
gosh,
want, yeah,
I'm getting frustrated.
I want to be sure that I have
Oh
all
no.
the information before I go for something, right?
I
So,
have a team and I have different personalities because the Eve Speaks virtual assistance platform, which is part of my IT firm,
mhm,
um, is made up of the teams of different personalities. And we help other people to build teams. And
mhm,
while we're building our own team, and the different personalities on the team, I have to know who to go to for what. Otherwise, I'll
mhm.
get really irritated. And I have
Exactly.
to watch myself, which brings me back to the relationship with myself. By knowing my personality, sometimes the person is talking and they're taking too long to say what they got to say. And I'm just like, I got to
Yeah.
apply scripture, to help me to navigate my own impatience.
Impatience.
Like, you're taking too long to say what you got to say. And we got to make a decision. We got to do this now.
Yeah, exactly. That's your deep personality that
It's
talks there.
real. It gets even today.
Yeah,
I felt it. I was like, "Oh, this guy's taking too long to say what I need him to say."
yeah,
um,
exactly.
yeah.
But well, we need those people sometimes, because there are many things that in life that we need to have people who, go in details. It's important. So when you are in a plane, you would like your pilot to be a C person, because they won't just drive and say, you know what, let's go. We don't have enough gas, but we can go, because they will
Mm,
check everything. So they are motivated by excellence and value those people. They are reserved, so they don't go right away on everything. They analyze everything. Those are the high C personality. So their weakness are they sometimes underreact, because they are perfectionists. They
I
want
think
to
Mike
have,
is like this.
yeah, they want to have everything perfect before they go. And when they are with a D person, sometimes they get, but what are you doing? But actually, they want to be sure before they engage something or other people. That's why this kind of personality also are good in some, you know, area like medical area and all this stuff.
But can
So,
you imagine? I mean, in a job situation, you can kind of like leave the job and go to another job. But can you imagine being in an intimate relationship with kids and mortgage and inheritance with a person with these two different personalities who at first thought each other was, the best thing since sliced bread. And as you're going down life's journey, you're like, this person is driving me crazy. And
yeah.
not being aware of that, if only you would just recognize that it's just a difference in personality. It's not a reason to divorce. It's not a reason to stab each other or shoot each other. Or, I've been hearing some pretty dreadful stories
Mhm.
because of personality conflicts.
Yep.
Imagine if we had the self-awareness to be able to maximize what the other person's strength is instead
Yeah.
of perceiving it as a weakness or something that is an irritant. And sometimes it can really be an irritant, like the kind of irritant that makes you itch, actually, that just makes you just want to run, right?
Yeah, because people are not educated on how each type of personality are actually important in some area of life. But once you discover how it is important to have people like that, just like I just said, imagine that you have, you know, the pilot of your flight is a C
I was
person.
just thinking about a pilot.
Exactly, or your doctor. You don't want to have a doctor who is not a C personality
That's
because they
true.
will, they would just go on things like, I don't have all the information, but I would just try something. No, but you see, but you need this kind of person when you have to make a decision to move forward. You will need this
Wow,
deep
it's
personality.
real.
Yeah. Sometimes, some marriage have this problem because someone never want to make the decision because nobody wants to be the bad one, and their decision are sometimes important. We need this D personality, we need this C personality, and then we will see the two other one, right?
Mm.
So the C are those who say, do it right. Let's do it, but let's do it to do it right. The C person. Right? So
So
now
now
we
we're
have
going for the I and the S, the
at the
influencing
S.
and the steady. Okay.
Yeah, those are the people oriented. So the people oriented personality are just like it said, that those who likes to be with people, they like to be around people, they like to be appreciated. And so we have the I on the left. So the I motto can be, let's do it, but let's have fun doing it.
Mm.
Okay. So they are the friendly people, the talkative, the optimistic. They are motivated by approval and recognition. They are natural stars, right? So we call them mm, the leaders because they are generally those who influence others.
They
You need a I,
influence others.
yeah, you
But
need a
don't
I.
but would you say the D's also influence others?
Yes, they let's say that the D's take they can get the job done, while the
Yeah.
I will influence by, putting a better atmosphere,
I
helping
see.
everyone feel heard,
Mm.
seen, and loved.
The
The
I.
I,
Okay.
the I person are those who come in the morning, maybe in the church or everywhere, and will say, "Hey, how are you? How was your night? Oh, you don't feel like, like maybe me. I'm someone. I will not ask you all this thing. I will just say, hey, hello. I will maybe see that you know, looks like everything is okay. I will maybe pray or maybe talk later. But the I person will say, oh, what's this? What's his face? What happened? Hey, tell me, that's the person who will go and greet everyone. Let's say that you are in uh how can I say it? Uh you are, for example, in the things that go up and down. I forget
Elevator.
an elevator. I forget
Uh-huh.
it. In an elevator. And you are five in the elevator. The I person will come and say, hi, everyone. How was the day? you know? And while this
You'd be like,
person,
what did you take this morning?
exactly, so you need the I person. And that's why we only have 11% of this type of personality in a given population.
We only have what? 11 per
11% of I people when you have any kind of population.
in any corporation, there's only 11% of the people are I
Not
personalities.
No, not corporation. I say population. When you have a
Population.
population, yes, like
Okay.
you are in a church, you are wherever you want. When you have a constitute population, generally the I person are 11%, and the D person are only 3%.
Really?
Yeah, so you don't have many people like that, but you need them,
Interesting.
right? And so those I people, you don't see many people who can, talk to everyone, seems to be always happy, always having a fun story, and we need those people. Sometimes they are just, over talkative and they can be unrealistic, very emotional gossip. Those are the people who will cry with you and laugh with you and gossip with you, you know, and, yeah, but those are the people who make you feel seen and heard, and loved,
So if you
and
had to guess which personality Jesus was, which one would you say?
oh, I will never try to picture Jesus. I said one day in our webinar on DISC that I think that Jesus is the midline.
Is the
Because because we pointed the personality on the midline. Everything which is above the midline are the high
uh-huh.
and high personality trait, and above the midline are the really low personality trait. So the midline is what made
But the equalizer.
exactly, but it gave also the reference. So I say that Jesus is the midline. I think that
He's a standard.
exactly. So from him we can,
Okay. They're not diagnosed Jesus, huh? I
oh
did.
no, I did. But for sure,
So the eyes fun loving, they're friendly, talkative, optimistic, motivated by approval and recognition, and easily distracted and follow through. Now, is it
exactly.
possible to be irritated by such a person? What personality would be irritated by this personality?
The D personality.
Is D is irritated by eyes?
Yeah, because the D are, task oriented, and the I are not task oriented. If you follow the I's, everybody will be happy, but nothing will be done. So the D are not like this. That's why I say that we are all a blend of the four personality. I am, for example, a blend of C, I, and D. Like I can mix, work and having fun. But actually, I'm more a C and I'm a C and at the end a D. So that's why I can have, fun moment, but I never forget that we have a goal and we have to work on it. You see, but when someone is a very high personality, they will always have a joke. But if you don't
Sounds like
remind
they're
them
very
that
distracted
exactly, they are easily distracted. This
and
is
flighty. Sounds flighty to me.
exactly.
Uh,
So they are impulsive people sometimes, or very emotional, while the S personality will say, let's do it together. Those are the team maker.
mhm.
Okay, the perfect person that you need to have in any team because they are reliable, they are loyal, and they are the perfect mediator. They are motivated by security. They don't like change. They are very reluctant to change. Okay, they love to be appreciated. If you don't acknowledge them, if you don't appreciate what they do, they will think that they may take it personal.
And they may resign and you may never know why. Imagine
Yeah.
having such a person on your team, really reliable, loyal, and
Yep.
all these good traits, but because you
Yeah.
don't recognize it, you lose the good person on your team and
Exactly.
self-sabotage, preventing
Exactly.
you from reaching your altitude. As an employer, I'm very grateful for this knowledge and this awareness because it
Mm.
makes me sustain the intelligence
Mm-hmm.
to continue to build and nurture my team.
Yeah. When,
So critical.
when you have a S person, you will see that everyone in the team will turn around this person. She became like a kind of central of stability of the team.
Mm-hmm.
And it is very important to have someone like that in your team.
Stability on the team. Yes.
Exactly, because they spread stability and they have the capacity to bring people together.
Mm. So who
So
irritates the S personality?
the S personality can be irritated uh,
I would think
by
the D
D.
personality irritates everybody.
Yeah, no,
Or
the
maybe the
S
I.
personality will actually agonize with the D personality because the D is too much driven for the S personality.
Too
They
much
change
what?
every too much uh
Energy?
and have too much energy for them. D personality can change everything. They don't like things, that they don't like monotony.
They don't like monotony.
Yeah. While the S person loves monotony, actually. They don't like to be in a setting where things change all the time, because they are motivated by security. They like stability, and they give stability. So they don't like change, while a D is always changing. They also, they are people oriented, but not that much that the I person. So they are people who won't go, they won't say hello to everyone, but they may come and bring you a coffee
But
without saying.
imagine you are an S personality married to a D personality, and you recognize the benefit, and you're aware that my spouse is not me, but I love the fact that she's reliable and loyal, and that
Mm-hmm.
she can, when we have a conflict, she knows how to bring out the best in me instead of fighting with my strong D personality. And imagine that she knows, how to make me feel, how to resist, who's not resistant to change, or
Mm,
understands that I love to change. Imagine she has that awareness. That is a symphony right there.
exactly.
I mean, that
And
orchestra could just take off.
yeah, and we'll see in the next slide
Mm-hmm.
how all these personality work together, and how it should work together to give actually this symphony we're talking about. Because
Mm.
someone said, let's do it, having fun, let's just do it and do it right. you know you need all this, and you need to understand yourself. You need to understand your pattern, and understand your partner and colleagues and co-friends pattern, so that you may understand when you see them behave. You will no longer say that they are rude, or they are too much, or they are no, they have personality that that are, I can even say that a need, in each group. We need those personality. Imagine if in a group or in a family, everybody was a D or a C.
Everybody was a D. No, that's
Yeah,
terrible.
imagine. You see? So why?
Patricia says, trust and loyal relationships within marriage and teams are good with plans and communication. Absolutely, Patricia.
Mm,
So true.
exactly.
Um, yeah. So yeah, the idea is to build this orchestra, this symphony. Otherwise, we're gonna have the other one. What was it again? Cacophony? I can't say the
Yes,
word.
cacophony. You never heard this word?
Cacophony. Cacophony. It's got to be a better way to say this. It sounds like I'm cursing.
Yeah, you never heard this word? Yeah, this is a
I just can't say it.
yeah.
Oh, forget it.
It's
Cacophony.
yeah, cacophony.
But it's so important to know these personality types, because it also affects our pockets.
Mm,
Because when
mm.
our relationships fail, we can fail at making money, being profitable, getting rich, gaining wealth. We can fail even in our relationship with our children, relationship with our spouse. I mean, this thing goes deep.
When you
But
fail your relationship, you fail, actually, you will fail everything, because if you
isn't that the
cannot,
truth? When you fail, and
yeah,
that's a very key statement, right? When you fail in your relationships, you
mm,
fail at everything.
yeah,
Relationships is the thread that connects everything.
yeah.
I was listening to this minister recently. I think it was Joshua Selman, and he talked about the different destiny,
Mm-hmm,
talk about the destiny helpers,
mm-hmm,
and how it's important to be able to recognize the different destiny helpers. And one of them is a burden bearer. I don't remember all four of them, but I remember the burden
mm,
bearer, that they can't really help you to go forward. They can't change the situation if you were in a tight spot, but they'll help you to bear the burden, to make sure that you don't go backwards.
mm.
They can't help you to go forward, but they're going to make sure you don't go backwards. And I'm like, if you don't know how to navigate that relationship, imagine how much you've self-sabotaged.
Mm-hmm.
Because
If you,
life can be really cruel sometimes. And to
Yep.
be able to nurture and identify a destiny helper who's a burden bearer
Mm,
because you understand the power of relationships and how to navigate the different types of
mm.
personalities, you could have dismissed that personality type because you didn't recognize that
Yep.
that person was sent by God to help you
Exactly.
in the burden
Yep.
that's coming in the next season. Oh my gosh, I think I just
Mm-hmm.
spoke a word.
Yep. And and you will be like, oh, this person is here, but it doesn't actually put up anything on the table while only their presence
Meanwhile,
helping you exactly.
God sent them to help you to this crazy season that's coming up that you could not have
Mm,
perceived is coming. That's
yeah.
serious.
Mm,
So that's just one little nugget about those destiny helpers.
so
Let's go to the next slide. Actually, it's 20:02. We got to stop this show.
wow.
It's late. Okay. So we
Yeah, so this is the actually the last slide. Why
mhm,
do we need to create this symphony? So we have already shared many things to understand that it is important to know who you are so that you can grow yourself and grow others. It's
mhm,
important. So this is what creating a symphony with our personalities can bring to our life. It can enhance problem solving because the diverse personality brings a variety of perspective and approach to a problem solving. So you are an entrepreneur, Angela. You have a team, so you know the wealth that is to have a diversity in your employee. You cannot have,
and my
only
team
one
is
task.
nimble. And let me tell you, when one person is not doing what they're supposed to do, it affects everybody. And when everybody is doing their part, it really is like a symphony, like literally. I
Mm,
mean, we'll be getting the deals are coming in. I mean, the relationships are being built with vendor partners and distributors and end users. I mean, the dollars are flowing. And then when somebody acts up, it affects it. It definitely makes a difference.
mm,
So yeah, this
yeah.
education is priceless, priceless. And so we're
Yep.
encouraging you to click the link that will be shared for you to sign up for your personalized consultation. We'll be having a masterclass once every month. It's important for you to know that. We're going to stay on this journey because this information is indispensable.
Mm,
And so we want to continue to spread the word about the importance of being able to navigate personalities, which really leads to uh, building strong relationships, making strong connections so that we can have the symphony that we desire in our lives, to see the outcome that we need. And remember, if we don't design our life plan,
mm,
then you will fall into somebody else's plan. And guess what they have planned for you? Not much.
ah,
That's why we're doing these, having these conversations. So
exactly.
remember, the first step towards change is awareness. And the
Mm-hmm.
second step is acceptance. By the way, let no one talk down about your personality. Your personality is a gift from God. They may not recognize it because they're not aware. They may not be informed. They may not be educated about the
Mm-hmm.
different types of personality. But don't let anyone tell you that you're too much or not enough.
Exactly.
Okay? Your gift is from God. Now you may need to nurture your personality so that it works for you more. There's always room for growth, but it's never that something is wrong with you. Never. And
Mm,
there's no personality that's better than the other. We just got to figure out which part of the orchestra you fit, right?
exactly.
What music are you playing? What are we getting from, what vibration are you giving off? And where you will be maximized.
Yeah.
Yes, yes?
Yep, exactly.
So the eSpeaks platform is here. We're willing, ready, and able to answer any questions you have. And if you want to schedule your consultation, we are here. Until next time, thank you for joining us today. The link is right here. Uh, I mean, I can put it over here. There's the link. Schedule your test to learn about your personality type. I bet you probably need to be sure there is an actual test that you can take that we will facilitate to help you to know for sure what your personality type is, what you can be doing to reach the altitude that you desire to reach in your life. Isn't that good information to know? Of course it is. Have a great evening, and we'll talk next time. Thank you. Our
Thank you.
guest online on YouTube here and right here on the panel. We are so grateful that you came and that you contributed to the conversation. Have a great night, and thank you, Coach Genevieve Queenum.
Yes, thank you, Angela.